And we are live. What is going on, everybody? How's it going? How's it going? We got a fun chat for today. Fun live stream. Everybody that's in here real quick, I know there's only 15. We're going to wait a little bit till the guests get in here, but if you could just go out to your Facebook or your Instagram and just share that this went live, I'd really appreciate it. This is just Monster Energy, by the way. It's nothing crazy. Barry, what's up, man? You're in the chat. Paul Fisher, what's up, buddy? Yeah, no more donuts for me. No more donuts. I had to get off the donuts. It was getting a little too much. Country boy, what's up, man? Well, we got a really fun chat scheduled for today. Without further ado, let's add Mr. Doug to the chat. He is from Greig Performance Shooting. So let's get him in here. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going?
Uh-oh. That's my fault. I just got this new speaker and it keeps shutting off every few minutes. So I think I got to send it back. Technical difficulties.
I mean, technology doesn't work all the time?
I tell you, my wife's in IT, but after 5 o'clock, man, I get no home support. She's out. She's out.
That's the way it is.
So we're very excited to be taking your class. So everyone that's kind of just getting in the chat, me and my wife are taking his class this Sunday, and it's as much as I shoot, this is the first training I've actually ever had. Besides someone say, hey, hold it this way and do this. I've never actually went to a class. So I'm pretty excited.
Well, cool. I mean, as long as you're okay with getting yelled at and embarrassed and berated, then you come to the right place.
I've been married 12 years, so I'm pretty good.
Pro at it, huh?
Yeah. And plus I do outside sales, so I get told no all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's old hat by now. So I wanted to ask you, so you're not a native Texan, right?
No, sir.
You just moved here?
I just moved here about 2 years ago. My son was raised down here, so he is a native Texan. He's got married and grandkids, and my wife and I are retired. So we said, what the hell are we still doing up in New England? And moved down here.
Nice. So what stands out as the biggest difference between like New England gun people and Texas gun people?
Other than everyone believes more in personal freedom in them down here.
Yes.
And we did up there. Yeah. I mean, when
keep in mind, everyone in the chat is judging you very harshly by what you say next.
I would. Hell yeah. No. When my parents moved us around a lot, we were kids, and we landed in. We came from Vermont, and when we first moved there, it was a very conservative state, very gun friendly. A lot of like what you see down here. When I left, it's a very unfriendly gun state. There's a lot of unnecessary rules and regulations being put in place. And for somebody who's in this line of work, it was not conducive to what I wanted to do. So other than that, I was tired of being cold. Taxes are too high. Cost of living is too high, all that. And I've been coming down here since the late 90s, visiting my son. And we always said we wanted to move. So here we are.
Nice.
We just wish we had made this decision years ago instead of.
You know what? I tell people the same thing. So I'm from the left coast. Yep. I don't even want to say the name out loud. Anyway, yep. I'm from over there. And my oldest daughter lived here with her mom, and I would fly or drive back and forth from that left coast. And then finally I moved, and man, I wish I would have done it.
Oh yeah.
Right away. Yeah. It's so much better.
And the first thing I always tell people when I came here from Vermont is I'm like, look, I came down here to be like you, not turn this place into another Vermont. And
amen to that.
Wholeheartedly. I came down here to be like everybody else. I don't have a cowboy hat yet. I think my son's probably going to get me one later on this year. But
do you have the boots?
I got boots.
Oh, well, you're halfway there.
So I'm halfway there, but yeah.
Oh, look at this guy in the chat. Oh, Barry McFarland.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah. Who doesn't? Barry gets around. Look at this character. Doug, wear your bulletproof vest when you're shooting with Smash. Ha, 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 ha. Well, actually, that's kind of flattering that I would actually hit the vest. So thank you, Rob.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. We got a lot of funny guys in this chat, man. It's a lot of fun. Oh, man, you've taken 4 classes with Doug?
Yeah. Yeah, Barry has been a phenomenal supporter of mine. I met him actually through when I first came down here. In Vermont, I was the only one who taught the type of stuff that I teach. Everybody else is kind of like a basic NRA instructor, very fundamentals type training. When I came down here, everybody and their brother is a firearms instructor. So I had a lot more competition. And I was very, very fortunate that one of the bigger instructors in the area, Carl Wren from KR Training, brought me on as one of his assistant instructors when he saw my background. And that's how I met Barry. Was Carl promotes a lot of my classes for me. And Barry saw that, Carl related classes down in the Conroe area. Him and his wife took a low light class that I was giving, and they've just been taking classes after class after class ever since.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. That low light class sounds fun.
It is a lot of fun.
So I wanted to ask you, so you mentioned the NRA instructors, and I know a lot of people that say they're NRA instructors, but for me, that's kind of like I don't want to say it's not a good certificate, but I think it's pretty easy to get.
NRA instructor, I call that, when people ask me, how do I become an instructor? How do I follow this path to become one? And I tell them, start out at least with the NRA basic pistol instructor. It's a great gateway into learning what it takes to be an instructor. Mm-hmm. And all I can really, my background with NRA is I'm an NRA basic pistol instructor and an NRA certified RSO. So I'm going to speak from that point of view. I haven't taken any of the other instructor courses. I haven't taken any of the other classes that they offer. I will just say that I think NRA training has its place for a very specific margin of people. But to become an instructor, they're not going to turn you into a master instructor. They're not going to teach you how to coach people and turn the average everyday person into a master level shooter. But they are going to teach you how to take somebody who's brand new and handle a gun safely. I mean, I think that's good. Nobody should stop. And that's another thing. If you're going to become an NRA instructor, great. But don't stop there. Go seek out as much training as you can to become the best instructor that you can. I tell people all the time, even if they take classes from me, don't take classes just through me. Take classes through everybody so you can build that foundation. And 100%. It's the same thing with that NRA instructor. It's a great place to start. Just don't stay there.
Right. And then, we've got another special treat. Right? Your son is actually going to join the chat.
Awesome.
Hello.
Generations. We got generations of instructors.
Oh, yeah.
So, Zach, do you also have the NRA instructor certificate?
I do. I'm NRA basic pistol and RSO. Did mine ways later, but did it. Still doing my training journey. Working on getting my TCOL certification.
TCOL, what's that?
Texas Commission on Law Enforcement.
Okay.
Getting firearm instructor through them, hopefully. And then going to attend the range master with Tom Givens at KR Training or at Carl Wren's range and see if I can pass his class.
Okay. So Doug, you started out with the NRA too, right? And then you progressed. And then where did you go from there?
Well, I did the NRA basic pistol instructor, and I was like a lot of veterans. I came out of the service and I said, I'm a combat veteran. I know what the hell I'm doing. Watch this. And I started doing competitions, and I sucked. It was like I had never handled a firearm before when I started going to these matches. So I started looking at how I can become more proficient. And living in Vermont, we had Sig Sauer Academy right next door to New Hampshire. And I found out Sig Sauer Academy took the GI Bill.
Oh,
so
nice.
I spent the next 3 years at Sig Sauer Academy taking every class I could possibly take.
So where does the Sig Sauer Academy rank as far as in schools?
Well, without inserting my personal bias.
No, go ahead. We love personal bias.
Right now,
we're Texas. I mean, we think we're the best at everything.
Exactly. It's considered one of the top schools in the country. When I came in here to start learning, it was more of a place where Tier 1 operators, SEALs, Delta, high-level SWAT teams, they all went there to train instead. And then they opened it up to us civilians just before I started training. So it was well established, and they had quite a high level staff of instruction. They still do. The curriculum and their focus has changed over the years, with the times. But I would put it up there with a gun sight and things like that.
Oh wow, yeah, I've heard about gun sight, and I don't know anything about instructors. We do have a question from Reeves Custom Holster. By the way, I just picked up my custom holster from Reeves. I'd show it on camera, but I don't want to get killed on live stream. It is ridiculous. That video is going to drop pretty soon. But does Greig teach the basic pistol instructor class, and where?
I do not actually teach any of the NRA classes. I am starting to do a instructor development program. I started working with one of the other instructors at the range. We just kind of met up to kind of like a fun shoot, and it turned into a little bit more of a lesson. And he asked me if I was interested in doing some kind of instructor development program with him and a couple other guys. So that is something I'm looking at doing. But as far as the actual NRA basic pistol course, no, I don't teach that.
Well, do you teach kind of like your own version of the basic pistol? Because like the class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was like me and my wife, we shoot a lot, but we just go and waste a lot of ammo. So now that it's getting a little bit more pricey, I'm like, maybe we should learn what we're doing. And she's left eye dominant. So I guess she needs to learn how to shoot left-handed because she's not a very good shot right-handed. I hope she doesn't watch this.
Zach, why don't you talk a little bit about our basic pistol course? And
our basic pistol course, we start off with the fundamentals as all basic. Well, actually, we start off with firearm safety. Teach you the basics of firearm safety, range etiquette, so you're not pointing your gun and doing crazy things on the range.
Right.
Keeping everybody safe. And then we go through the parts of the firearm if you don't have a whole lot of experience with the parts of the firearm. And then from there, we will go into the basic fundamentals. We'll teach you those. We'll go through it slow, step by step. And then by the end of the day, I mean, it's generally a 4-hour class. Sometimes it's 8. By the end of the day, I mean, you're doing phenomenal. We haven't had very many people not perform well in that class.
Because you guys usually get your hands on people before they develop too many bad habits, right?
Yeah.
Correct. And that's the one thing that I like about our basic pistol class is it's not overwhelming, but you're going to learn a lot and still come away with being really safe with the gun. Our big thing is ask us all the questions that you have. We're there. We run smaller classes, and we run them smaller on purpose so that we can give people that private individual attention that they want.
Right.
I know I've gone to these huge classes where there's 20, 30 people in the class. You pay your money and you run through the drills and you feel like, did the instructor even know I was in this class by the time I get done?
Right.
I mean, yeah, I spent a lot of money. I learned some things, but if I met this guy on the street tomorrow, would he even know who I am? Where we try to develop that personal relationship with each of the students. And in that basic class, like Zach was saying, a lot of people are like, yeah, I have this gun. I bought it at the store. The salesman said, this is going to be great for me. I don't know what anything on it is. So we'll take you, if you bring your gun, we'll show you how to pull your gun apart, show you where the safety mechanisms are. But that's one of the biggest questions we have from new shooters is this thing safe? Can I walk around with a gun with a round in the chamber? What if it doesn't have an external safety on it? And we go over all that with them on their firearm. Then we teach them how to load it, unload it, clear it in a safe environment. And then we go out and what's that? Go ahead.
Oh, because it's funny you mentioned that because I know a lot of people that have guns that are kind of too embarrassed to ask those real basic questions, and then they don't know what to do. So it's cool that you guys have that kind of environment. Like I know I was at one time.
It's amazing. Look like Zach, you had something to add to that.
I was just saying, in a lot of our classes, we tell everybody you have nothing to prove to us or anybody that's there. If you have a question, ask it. You don't be embarrassed about it because everybody at some point is where you were.
Right, 100%.
Yeah. And like one of the things that you and I were talking about was information for new students, people who may be looking at classes or even going to a range. I will tell you right now, everyone who has come to any of our classes has had the same exact concern. I'm afraid, I'm nervous, I don't want to look stupid. Okay, guess what? The person standing next to you is going through the exact same anxiety. They don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't want to look stupid out here. It's why I don't want to come to a class. I don't want to get yelled at, things like that. God, we have more fun and we joke around and our goal is to make you feel at ease. Because if you're not at ease around that gun, you aren't gonna feel comfortable around it, and you aren't gonna want to learn it because you're gonna be afraid of it the whole entire time.
Right. So Renee Flores in the chat said he's interested. So when, where, and how much? Where can they get your information? We'll go over that a few times, but
yeah. So if you go to our website, which is www.greigshooting.com, and it's spelled funny, so and right on that page there's a schedule, and on the schedule will tell you exactly when all the classes are, how much it costs, where it's located, and I think we're relatively cheap compared to the cost of a lot of classes out there right now. All of our classes are 4 hours long, and they're $100. So,
wow, that's a deal. That's a bargain.
Yeah.
Man, don't raise those prices until I've had a classes, please.
Yeah.
So as far as like the classes, I mean, so you're NRA certified, you're Sig Sauer Academy certified. Who else have you trained under that is on your resume?
So last year, when I moved to Texas, nobody down here even had heard of Sig Sauer Academy. I used to go around, I'm a Sig Sauer Academy certified master instructor. And the common response was, is that a class Tom Givens gives? And I was like, no. So Tom Givens is a very established, very well-known, very, very good instructor for Rangemaster is the name of his company. And a lot of people in Texas are Rangemaster certified. So I went through the Rangemaster instructor certification, the same one Zach's getting ready to go to in a couple of weeks. And so that's for instructor certifications. That's what I have. But I have about another 600 hours of training with guys like Viking Tactics, Kyle Lamb, Mike Seeklander, who's a couple of Sheriff of Baghdad, John McPhee. So I spent, when I was going through all my time at Sig Sauer Academy, I didn't want to have just that tunnel vision on what Sig Sauer teaches. So I traveled all around the country, finding all these bigger, larger, well-known national level instructors and took classes from them as well.
Nice. So Zach, why did you want to be an instructor? You just saw what your dad was doing. I was like, hey, that sounds fun.
Well, I've been in the guns my whole life. Grew up hunting and all that stuff. So I started a little bit earlier in life than my dad did. But
that's a dig, but we'll let that.
I went in the military right out of high school and got really into big boy guns and enjoyed it. And then I got out and went into law enforcement, and we did all of our shooting in the academy and everything there. And I just really got into it. And then he started instructing, and we were constantly emailing each other and texting each other and all kinds of stuff on what I could learn to teach, what I can and how to teach it and things like that. And I really started enjoying the teaching aspect of it. And then he moved down here, and it snowballed, and I just got all into it. And I soak up every class I go to. I'm not only teaching, but I'm learning from him when he's talking.
Nice. So you're law enforcement or former law enforcement?
I am in law enforcement.
Still?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I've heard this on the news. Why don't y'all just shoot him in the leg? You've heard that one a million times. Just shoot him in the leg. Don't stop.
Well, I wouldn't advise that.
Yeah. But, all right. So let's see. We got any more questions?
A smaller target, and it moves a lot faster. It's because if you're running, I don't know how many people you see their legs moving in slow motion when they're running. So that's about all I got on that one.
Right. So let's see. Do you also teach rifle classes like AR-15, like any of that stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we teach everything from regular handguns, semi-autos, revolvers, shotguns, and rifle. What I'm comfortable teaching you is I will get you accurate out to 400 yards with a rifle. There is a big interest, and I just was looking at the question on there for long-range precision. I have asked around. I am trying to find somebody who is willing to teach some long-range, 1,000-yard type precision shooting. I've had a lot of people ask me, and unfortunately, I'm like, I don't teach that. I'd be standing there right next to you going, how do you do this?
It looks like a lot of fun.
It does look like a lot of fun, but you also have to have the facility to be able to shoot that far.
Right.
And But so yeah, if anybody else knows of somebody who teaches that, I'd be willing to sign up for one of those classes.
Yeah, so I was spoiled. My first time to the range, I went to on the left coast. It was called the Angeles Forest Shooting, gun range, and it was all the way out to 800 yards on the left, and then all the way down to like 50 yards on the right. And there was 100 lanes and 100 lanes. It was amazing. It was an amazing place to shoot. But so there was a 50 cal club meeting my first time there, and I got to shoot about 15 different 50 cals. My first day at the range, and I couldn't stop smiling. But man,
you started right at the top.
Yeah, when you shoot 800 yards and you shoot, and then you know there's like a 2-second delay before it hits. That's bananas. That was that was something fun. I would love to get back.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another question. With so many new shooters, training is such worthwhile investment. You can't be too safe with a firearm. That is 100%.
Let me tell you my thoughts on firearm ownership versus training. I am a staunch believer, of course, that everybody should own a firearm. You should have that. If you are legally allowed to own a firearm, 100%. You should have a firearm, right?
100%.
Here's where the instructor in me now kind of plays devil's advocate. You should have some training. I will never say you should be forced to get training, but by all means, please, even if it's how to just handle your gun so you're not pointing the muzzle around at everyone. That's one of the classes Zach and I offer. We'll sit down with you for an hour for free. If you want to know how does your gun work? How does it, what's the opening on the end for? Oh, that's where the bullet comes out. Things that people will buy guns and not know these things. We'll sit down with you, show you how your gun functions, how to pull it apart, how to handle it safely. We're not going to show you how to shoot it for free, but you should know you shouldn't have to pay a lot of money to just learn how to handle it safely.
Full disclosure, I bought a Mossberg 500, my very first gun, that same range trip. I took it to the range with some birdshot that I bought. It was on sale because I didn't know what it took. And then I didn't know how to load it.
Yeah.
I called my brother and I'm like, how do I load this thing? He goes, you turn it upside down. So I turned the rifle upside down, looking down the stock like a moron. Thank God the guy next to me goes, hey, you must be new. And he showed me. He goes, you put the bullets on the bottom. So I'm looking through the stock. I'm like, how does it go on the side? I don't know. I mean, that was the saddest and happiest day of my life. That was rough.
You just muzzle.
Oh yeah,
I know, right? So I wanted to ask you. So
yeah, go ahead.
What do we bring? We bring eyes and ears. Sunglasses. Because that's another question I hear a lot. A lot of people are like, I don't even know what to bring. And they're intimidated. They're like, do I have to have those fancy holsters with all the pouches and all that stuff? And
no. As a matter of fact, in our basic classes, both rifle and handgun and shotgun, we don't want you to bring a holster. We don't want any of that stuff. You're gonna do everything from either a table or we have the blue barrels, and you're gonna work off of that. You're gonna learn how to hold the gun properly first before we start getting you drawing from a holster or any of that garbage.
Right.
Because it can be a little intimidating. First, I'm showing you how to hold it without sticking your finger on the trigger the whole entire time, and now I'm going to have you start putting it in and out of a holster. No, let's take a baby step there and learn how to be confident with this thing.
Okay, so
go ahead.
So what about someone that's already shot a little bit and now they're just like me? Like I want to start getting some training.
Yeah, that would go right into our intermediate level class. Intermediate level, it really is the next step after. I mean, our basic handgun class, you're going to shoot 50 rounds, and you're going to walk away knowing how to load it, how to safely point it in a direction that's not that you or something you don't want to destroy, and be okay with it. But you're not going to be proficient. You're not going to be, tactical operator. So our intermediate classes, now we start working from the holster. Start learning how to draw, how to reholster the gun safely. Then we get into refining your marksmanship skills. In the basic handgun class, we teach you how to grip the gun, see the sights, and press the trigger. That's it. We're not going to get any more into that. In the intermediate class, we start getting into, okay, now let's start talking about your stance a little bit. Let's start refining your grip. Let's start talking about perfecting that sight alignment, sight picture a little bit better. And we do that through video diagnostics and a low round count as well. So we're not wasting your time. Again, we only have 4 hours to kind of throw a bunch of stuff at you. So we will have you shoot 6 rounds record it. Then we're going to go back to our TV, plug it in, and kind of pull you apart and put you back together. Show you all the things.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. No, it sounds fun until you have it done to you, right, Zach?
So on your rifle, you kind of not guarantee, but you get pretty proficient out to what you say, 400 yards.
Yeah. Yep.
So on the pistol, I just want to get maybe 7 yards. If I could just make a hole at 7 yards, I'd be pretty happy. Because
why not
right
25?
now, thank God I'm really good at editing, so it looks like it's not that great.
That's what counts. It's all about editing.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we'll get you out as far as you want to be able to shoot accurately handgun. In our defensive classes, part of the qualification at the end of that is 20 and 25 yards, being able to do accurate hits.
Nice. So Triple H in the chat says, what stance is common nowadays? Do they still use the Weaver stance? I don't know what that is.
So the Weaver stance is an older stance where you're kind of bladed off to the side and you push with your strong arm and you're pulling with your support hand. It's kind of a push-pull method. Nowadays, most people teach what's called the isosceles, which is where you're more square towards the target. You're not bladed off to the side. And then some people teach a modified isosceles, which is kind of what we teach. It's more of a natural stance. But most people are getting away from the Weaver. Some people still use it, some people don't, but most use the isosceles.
Oh, okay. Here's my take on stances. Zach and I will show you about 3 or 4 different ways to stand. That's usually a lot of people say, show me how to stand shooting the gun. And we'll show you that picture perfect, looks right out like the cover of a magazine stance on how to shoot the gun. But the first time you go to shoot it in a competition or in self-defense or something like that, you are not going to be in that natural stance, in that perfect stance. You're going to go revert back to your natural, I don't want to say athletic stance, but there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. We teach you and get you to work with the way your body naturally has been doing things on how to manage recoil and be ready. The thing the stance is the stability, mobility, and balance. And as long as you have those 3 key factors in your stance, dude, I don't care if you're standing on your head. As long as you are safe, you're consistent, and you're accurate, and in your stance, you have that stability, mobility, and balance. Okay, cool. Good story. Cool story. You don't have to have that perfect Weaver or that perfect isosceles stance because you're never going to be in an actual gunfight.
Well, here's another one too that I hear. It's like, I know how to shoot a gun. I don't want to take a basic class. And Michael Gonzalez here says, is the beginning class required before taking intermediate? So how do you judge somebody?
I'll talk to you first.
So basically, if they're not wearing a helmet, then they should be okay. I'm kidding.
They should be. We always we wait until see how somebody actually shoots and how they handle the gun when they get to the range. You'd be like, yeah, I've been shooting my whole entire life, and I would put us at intermediate to advanced level shooters. And then we break out the cases, and they're like, how do I put the magazine in the gun? And we're like, okay, so we know that you may not be the intermediate to advanced shooter that you thought you were. And we have to kind of pull things back. Essentially, I will tell you this. If for a beginner class, they really are more for somebody who has never handled a firearm before. We can take somebody who maybe grew up shooting guns, somebody who a little bit more confident around them, and bring them right into the intermediate class. Sure.
Okay.
We'll know within the first few minutes if you're going to be super
unsafe. You can't lie.
Yeah.
You can't lie.
First time you pick up that gun, we're going to be like, here we go. Okay, so.
Yeah, 10 minutes in our class, you're going to say, keep going forward. You need to be closer to the target. Closer to the target.
Yeah, if you can handle it safely and grip the gun and use the fundamentals properly, you're good to go to the intermediate class.
Nice. So everyone in the chat, man, please push the thumbs up, the like button, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I'd really appreciate it. And I
subscribed.
Nice. And so I just put a link to Greig's website. Please check them out. All right. So we have more questions. Modified.
Yeah, you had asked before. about what to bring
Yeah.
to a class, and then I'll answer tool and targets question right there. Most best thing you can bring is an open mind and a positive attitude, and don't be afraid, and understand every single person's first time ever shooting a gun is feeling the exact same thing that you're feeling right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So it happens. But as far as gear and all that stuff, for us, we have a full complement of extra safety gear, eyeglasses, ear protection, things like that, firearms. So if you forget something, we'll have it there for you. But yeah, wear some comfortable loose clothing. Don't show up in your yoga pants and your bikini top because
no, I don't. It's too cold for that still, so I don't wear my bikini top. I'm not trying to get a free class.
I only do it for the gram.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how many magazines should you bring? Like 3?
All the magazines. No. For the basic class, 1.
Yeah, like, oh, really?
Yeah, because you're going to shoot 50 rounds the whole entire class, and you're going to spend a majority of that learning how to load that one magazine into the gun. So there's not a lot of need. You'll get into doing reloads, malfunctions, and all that stuff in the intermediate class. So you bring 2 or 3 magazines and the holster and all that. So the idea behind our intermediate class is you are now prepared to take any class with any other instructor, any type of advanced type training. So you'll have the fundamentals of gripping a gun, fundamentals of marksmanship, fundamentals on how to take care of a malfunction, things like that, so that you can learn in your other class and not have to be retaught how to do all this other stuff.
Nice. How much ammo do people usually? You said 50 rounds for the basic class.
Yep. Basic, intermediate will be about 100.
Oh, really? That's it?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Because that's another worry a lot of people are having right now.
We've done a lot of modifying of our curriculum because of the ammo situation. And so you'll do a little bit more dry firing than you may have in our classes in the past, which was good because now you have a way to practice at home. You know what to practice. You don't need ammunition to do it. And at the same time, we add the video diagnostics in. So we can find your problem and fix it in 6 rounds and compare instead of 100 rounds.
Nice. As far as like hearing protection, do you have a favorite that you use?
Whatever fits your head.
No, but you don't have like one of those fancy electronic.
Oh, I've got the fancy, the electronic
earbuds and everything.
So which one do you like, Zach, out of all of them? Like,
I actually prefer the non-electronic. I have the Howard lights. They're real skinny on the ear, non-electronic. I just prefer them. I don't like the noise from the electronic one when you're not shooting.
I've never gotten that fancy.
Little humming noise.
I just use the foamies.
Yeah.
Well, we've got electronic ones for you to use on Sunday, so
okay,
get
cool.
a good tryout with it. So,
cool, that'll be fun. Have you
I
ever?
like those. Let's say if you go to the range like once a year, foamy inserts are fine. If you're going to shoot 2 or 3 times a year, get a decent pair of the regular muff kind of fit over your ears. They don't have to be electronic, but if you're going to spend any amount of time over the net at the range, where you're going to be there for a couple hours, get the electronic kind. Just because, like Zach says, we have some of the cheaper ones that we hand out to students, but when you can sit there and have them on and you can have a conversation and not have to worry about being able to hear the other person, but it drowns out all the gunfire, it makes it a lot nicer out there.
Right. Have you ever tried to teach someone and just said, "Oh man, this is going to be a long day"?
Maybe. Yeah. We have those days. Yeah.
You have those days. Now, as far as like, what if someone wanted to do like a corporate event where they wanted to have, say, 10, 15 people from their staff come out? Is that something you guys can do too?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Zach.
We've actually done it twice. There's a business there in Houston. They scheduled 2 separate times for a corporate event. We had them come out there. The first time it was kind of a basic pistol, and then the second time it was intermediate pistol. And I mean, they enjoyed it. And then towards the end, we break away from the curriculum and we set up steel targets and set up zombie targets and all kinds of stuff, and just let them shoot and have fun. And a second time, it was really fun. They seemed to enjoy it because they came back a second time. So
nice. Let's see if there's any more questions. I'm sorry, I'm ignoring the chat here, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let's
So
see.
yeah, tools and targets. Just said modified isosceles is most comfortable for him. So know what I'm going to say? Do it.
Right.
If it's comfortable for you, and you are accurate, safe, and consistent, do it all day long.
Right.
That's all I care about.
Triple H is asking if you guys do engagement training. What is engagement training?
Is that like force on force training?
Is that like with the airsoft pistols?
I've done some force on force training with KR training. I just went through the whole instructor program, and Zach has done some through law enforcement. I did some through the military. We're talking about it. We haven't gotten the gear to do it, but we offer some pretty darn realistic versions of that in our defensive handgun classes. I'll just leave it at that. If they want to find out what we do, and no, nobody's shooting at anybody else with live ammunition, not even close. And there's no physical hands-on, but we do a pretty good test of your ability to react to somebody and draw your firearm out and hit accurate shots in our defensive class.
Right. Let's see. Man, I'm missing all these chats. Rusted Root says a lot of first-time gun owners, shooters feel annexity to the max. It's great if they have someone there to help them get. That's true. I remember the first time I shot a handgun, I rented a 357 Magnum because I saw it in a movie. That was a horrible first handgun to shoot.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the range officer came over and took my box of ammo away and gave me 38s. He goes, "You shoot these. You're new." I'm like, okay.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that first-time gun owners and anxiety and stuff like that. Oh, my Lord. Zach, almost every class that we've been given over this last year have had a married couple where she is just super full of anxiety. And it's like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. He's making me be here and all this other stuff. And by the end, I mean, the first thing we do is we separate them. So he's on one side of the range and she's on the other. And we talk to them like real people. We don't talk to them like instructors saying, you have to do this, you have to do that. And we get them nice and relaxed. So we don't make them do things they don't want to do. And we've had so many female shooters just get turned on to it and take it up as a hobby on their own. That's our thing. Is our philosophy and our thought process is there. We're here to coach you through a new experience that can be awfully intimidating, and we want you to relax and have fun.
Right. Well, so B-Noise is saying, I see Smash Time's wheels spinning for the next meet and greet. And you are correct. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yep.
Because, hey, Journey to Heaven just got in the chat. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. There are some characters in here. Where's Rainbow Sprinkles? That guy's always Absolute Misty. My husband brought me a pair of electric ear pro because he got tired of me yelling, "What? Huh?" Yeah.
Well, here's a secret that he's going to regret that, because I have a great story about wives and their electronic hearing protection.
Uh-oh.
So I bought my wife her electronic hearing protection, and my wife, back in my property in Vermont, I had my own range on my property. And I was out talking smack about my wife.
That's good advice.
Out on the range. She put on her electronic hearing protection and could hear every word I said way back at the house on the porch.
Oh, no. No bueno. That's no bueno.
Yeah.
Let's see. Barry says, if you're married, do not try to instruct your wife. Amen to that.
Nope.
Don't do it.
Nope.
That one.
Absolute Misty.
I don't instruct my wife.
Since you're in the chat, Misty, did your husband try and instruct you? Comment below. I'm dying to know. Because, man, I just do what I'm told. I don't tell her what to do.
Yeah, just do what you're told. Yeah.
Let's see. Tools and targets. Earbuds, but they mostly use hearing aid batteries that never turn off, and batteries die pretty quick. Really? Yeah.
Which ones do you use?
Electronic hearing buds. I didn't even know they made those.
Yeah.
So I'm in no way a firearms expert.
Yeah.
I just love firearms. And so I'm kind of learning along with everyone else. Most of the people in the chat forgot more than I'll ever learn. So I'm excited for this class on Sunday. I can't
we're going to
wait.
have fun. Yep, we're going to have fun. It's going to be a blast.
So my wife outshoots me close range. Oh, poor Christopher. That's true. So what would you say to someone that's like my wife is goofy eyed, and it's come to find out a lot of people are left eye dominant that shoot right handed, and so I guess they either just deal with it and learn, or they learn to shoot with the other hand.
No, they have no business owning a firearm, and they should just get rid of it.
Right. No. Right. Obviously.
No. My wife is right-handed, left eye dominant, and Zach can tell you he trained a student this last summer who had that exact same problem, and he went away for training, and the instructors there were like, "Okay, you need to learn how to shoot left-handed now instead." Yeah, that's straight out of 30, 40 years ago mentality. All you have to do is turn your head. Oh, yeah. Because if I have something lined up in front of my right eye and I want to lined up now in front of my left eye, why can't I just do this?
What about would they try and shoot with rifles too? Won't that cause kind of an issue?
That's where the person's going to have to decide on what side they want to train on. My wife will shoot a rifle right-handed, but I have had students that will shoot a rifle left-handed, but a handgun right-handed.
Yeah, we just had one. That was right-handed, but he had to shoot the rifle left-handed because he was left-eye dominant.
Mm-hmm. Misty says, "No, I do most of the instruction." I like her more and more. You can't hang out with my wife, though. So, speaking of women shooters, now here's something I've heard before, too. I've heard from 2 different females just the last few weeks since I've been talking about taking lessons that they're intimidated and they don't want some range guy hitting on them. So as instructors, are you guys extra conscious of that and really kind of, because that's got to be, you don't want that stigmatism.
Yeah. No. Well, first of all, I like to tell everybody I'm old and I don't care anymore about.
Yeah, but look, your son's still strapping, young guy.
Yeah. My wife would have a word to say about that.
Right. But that's something I've heard quite a bit, though. There was a range down here. I'm not mentioning names, but this girl had went there for some private basic handgun, and the guy was trying to get her phone number halfway through the lesson.
Yeah. Well, here's what my reply about that is. It says a lot about your character, for one thing. Zach and I are decent people. We're going to treat you professionally. We take our jobs as professional firearms instructors very serious. It's not a dating club. It's not a place to meet chicks and things like that. At the same time, Zach's background in law enforcement has kind of, pushed him to treat people with respect and in a professional manner. My background in the military and then in management in private corporations also teaches me the same thing. You aren't looking at the what's the political term, the sex or gender of the person. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at a student in front of me who is wanting to learn, and they're paying money to get the best instruction that they can. Right. I've seen what you're talking about, and I think it's utterly ridiculous, and it's disgusting, and it's sad to see for this field, but. It
happens everywhere, I think,
Yeah. And on that, we before we do any hands-on stuff with you, before we touch you and move your hands around and stuff, we're going to ask you. And if you say no, I don't want to be touched, then we'll do it a different way. We're not going to put our hands on you unless you're okay with it.
I don't know.
Not want to. I misspoke. If they're okay with it and they consent to it, then we'll do it.
All right. So Robert, Vic, and Catfish and Chris are taking off, man. Okay, it's a little late for them. Let's see. Thomas says, "Old don't care anymore." Yeah,
it's going on a T-shirt.
I know it. Disabled lady in my arcade today tried a bunch of guns and was having trouble. She tried the Smith & Wesson Easy and was able to rack it better. Gave her a bunch of advice to help pay it forward. You know what? My wife, I bought her a Ruger LCP. She's like, "Yeah, this gun sucks. I don't like it." Then she shot my XDM9. She goes, "Yeah, it's a little bit better." Then she picked up this Colt 1911, and now she owns a Colt 1911 because she can pull that hammer back and rack the slide like butter. And for her, she's 100 pounds.
There's that biggest misconception, right?
She loves
what do people always tell women they should have for handguns?
Something small and unshootable.
Right, and that's what happens. They shoot it once, and they're like, "I don't want to shoot this thing again. This is stupid." We love those Shield EZs. We actually bought several for students to train them on, because they'll show up exactly like you said. They bring this gun and the recoil spring is too tight. They can't rack the slide, all this other stuff. And we'll be like, here, try this gun instead. And they're like, the light bulb goes off in their head. Oh, this is what you're trying to get me to do. Okay, now I can see what's going on. And I swear we should have stock and shield EZs, because everybody that's shot one in our class goes out and buys one afterwards.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Well, we got tools and targets with his Joe Biden jokes. What about hair sniffing? Is that extra? No, they don't do Joe Biden specials. Sorry to the one Democrat in the chat. I know there's. Let's see. Anthony Castro. Is it wrong not to want to take civilian class because of my Army training is installed in my brain? Your thoughts, guys?
Okay. Oh, that's
you know what? Maybe that's kind of an ego thing, because I've met a few people in the Army that suck with pistols worse than me.
Yeah. So Zach was saying, Zach grew up with firearms. I didn't shoot my first firearm until I was 18 in basic training. And even then, I just shot once a year qualifying with my rifle. I didn't shoot a handgun until my second combat deployment. And even then, they only taught me how to clean it before I went over there with it. It was horrible. If you are going to try to learn how to use a firearm after your military service, like we were just saying, be open-minded about it. My big thing, I said, I went to that competition right out of retiring, and I said, I'm a combat veteran. I know what the hell I'm doing. Watch this. Get out of my way. And I got smoked by everybody out there. And it was a big eye-opener. I realized, okay, I don't know what the hell I'm doing out here. And sometimes you need that. But yeah, it's especially when I get some prior service people, I'm like, okay, we're going to fix everything the Army or whatever branch of service you were in taught you, and we're going to get you so you can shoot okay after this class.
Yeah, like my brother in the Army, when I got my first AR, I go, how do I clean it? He goes, well, you just turn it upside down and get some WD-40 and just go to town. I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. He goes, we do it all the time in the desert. It's no big deal. I go, are you sure? He goes, just do it. I'm like, I don't know. So I don't trust some of that Army training.
No,
I've seen stripes.
Yeah.
I don't buy those Winnebagos, man. I've seen it.
Yep.
Misty
says that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying one thing I tell people is you can never have too many tools in your belt. So knowing more than one way to do something is always a benefit.
100%. Like my wife taught me 10 ways to do the dishes. And I do them. I'm a good husband.
Exactly.
I have to do them.
Exactly.
Yeah, Misty says it's a Colt 1911. You can't compare that to an LCP. That's like a Cadillac to a Pinto. But it's true. Guns are the great equalizer. It doesn't matter how big you are. It's gonna. Now she wants a 1911 and 10 mil, and so do I. So I don't know. If she wants to go hunt bear with it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck you're gonna shoot at with that, but you're gonna take care of it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. My wife has 2 Easy 9s now. Smith & Wesson just had to come out with a purple one. Oh, no.
Yes. Some people buy guns based on color, Zach.
Oh.
Why, did you get like a pink airweight? What's going on?
No. My wife has a Tiffany blue Glock 43X.
Well, hey, It's still a Glock, right?
Well,
are you guys big Glock fans?
No.
Well, see, that's okay.
They're good. They're reliable. I don't particularly care for the trigger on them. I just don't like that big break in the middle of the trigger. That's just my little thing with them.
See, I always heard. I've always been an XD guy my whole life. Since I got into pistols, just like 12, 15 years ago. And my wife she was going out for a job that they required you to shoot a Glock 19. So we went out and bought a Glock 19. Yeah. And so she practiced, and it would jam every single time because your hands were too small to grip it correctly. I would shoot it fine, but for the most reliable gun in the world, it sucked. It would jam all the time. And you could take an XD, turn it sideways, just hit it, and it goes bang every time. But if you weren't holding that Glock just right, so we sold it like immediately.
Yeah. My service
go ahead.
weapon is a Glock 17. And the issue that I have is the trigger, but I haven't had any issues with performance from it. Another issue that I have with it is I have short, stubby fingers, thanks to my father. And I can't grip around the grip on it. And I'm looking at buying another grip module for it to have a smaller one, but I just haven't done it yet.
Well, Donald Trump taught us there's nothing wrong with having small hands.
So, and that's actually that you brought that up, because it was Zach was having a hard time with it until, you know, he started working on his grip with one of the methods that we teach. Will help compensate small hands, big gun. It makes it so you can grip the gun. But as far as preferences over Glock, Sig, Smith & Wesson, and all that, I mean, yeah, I was partial to Sig at first because I spent 3 years at the academy. So what do you think I'm going to like when I get out of there?
Right.
But to me, it's like the whole Ford, Chevy, Dodge thing. You're going to have the one that you like, and you're always going to think that the one you like is better than the rest of them. They all function. They all go bang. They all have their things that are wrong with them. So what I will say is, you know, spend quality money on a gun. Don't spend too much money on a gun, and buy training in ammo instead.
Right.
You know?
I had one Glock I liked a lot. It was in 45 gap, and I got early as soon as they released that. I'm like, I have to have it. And it made a big hole, and there was hardly any recoil. And I was like, hey, this is all right. And then everyone made fun of me horribly. So I'm like, well, maybe it's time to get rid of this 45 gap. They're like, it'll never catch on, and it never did.
Well, like what, 357 Sig, that was another pretty popular round for a while there.
DPS was using.
Yeah, I'm really glad 10 mil is breaking out. A lot of people are seeing the light of 10 millimeter. I love it, man. That is my favorite round to shoot. It's expensive, but it is all right.
Yep.
Tools and Target says it's funny us guys make fun of the girly colored guns, but we all buy some FDE and an OD green. Yeah, that's true.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's like regular multicam and black multicam. You know, you have the black multicam for your formal events. I'm going to have my special colored gun for special events.
Right. You got to match shoes and socks, right?
Yep.
So my wife hates black guns. She's got OD green and FDE Hellcat. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I like.
She uses them well.
Yeah, I like OD green.
You say?
That's a classic. Let's see. Slick Dazzler, I'm a 1911 guy, but I also like the Beretta M9 pistols. Glock, not so much.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate Glock. I'm not going to hate on Glock. I've owned one for a couple years, and it was okay. But end all be all, I don't think so.
I mean, there's something to be said for an all steel frame gun compared to the plastic guns. Once you have your preference, you're like you said, that's what you're going to like, and that's what you're going to go with.
Right.
The heavier the gun, the less recoil you're going to feel. So yeah, a lot of people like those 1911s and the Berettas because you got all the steel in your hand absorbing all that recoil.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
Yep.
It's all about what you.
Misty says the best firearm is the one in your hand.
Exactly.
No, it's whether you feel comfortable and safe using. That's 100%.
Yep.
Slick, just about a 1911 double stack in 10 mil. That's probably the Rock Island Armory one. That's a very popular double stack. I think that's the only double stack 10 mil.
Good Lord.
It's
like holding a brick.
It is a pretty big grip. It's a big grip. It's a big grip.
My hands couldn't wrap around it.
Barry says, I own a Glock, but prefer the HK feel and trigger. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, Anthony Castro. I do admit that shooting is different with these newer AR-15 platforms than the M16A2. I also believe that their standard issue Beretta 9mm is tops. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. When I first go show my age, when I first joined the service, we were still using the M16A1s, and then we went to the A2s. So, and then when I got the M4, I was like, "Holy crap! Look at this thing!"
So if I watch Forrest Gump real slow, are you in the background somewhere?
You might see me back there. Yeah.
It's like, hey, there he is. There he is. So what do you guys carry for your CCW?
Go ahead, Zach. You tell them what you got.
I carry a Smith & Wesson Shield, and I also carry sometimes my full-size P320 with a red dot on it. Just depends on what I'm wearing that day, what I'm going to go do, where I'm going, things like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Yep. I carry a P365, the first generation, so it's not the XL, with a red dot on it when I'm wearing shorts and stuff like that. But my regular daily carry is a full-size P320 with a red dot on it, and I carry an appendix carry.
Oh man, I can like I tell people I can barely see my toes on a good day. Appendix carry is
Yeah.
in the cards.
Oh! If you're only seeing me from the neck down right now, you'll see. You're gonna be like, "How's that round guy carrying that gun appendix style?"
Has he got like underwear? I saw that before.
Exactly. Duct tape and Velcro are wonderful things. But no, we have a class called the Concealed Carry Lifestyle, and we kind of show you that kind of stuff where you can carry a full-size gun comfortably. In that class, we usually have you come with your daily carry, however you would be out on the street, and we basically have you shake out your gear. And so far, everybody that's taken that class has changed holsters, changed positions where they carry the gun, all that stuff. Yeah, so, and we get rid of some of the misconceptions of people and the fears they have over appendix carry versus the 4 o'clock carry.
Right.
So,
well, anybody in the chat, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. Let's get this out there. I really appreciate it. And also, I'm going to put a link to Greig's website in the chat. Please check it out. And I understand you do payment plans, all today, none tomorrow. So
yes, exactly.
These guys should definitely take advantage of that.
And our training will give you the blacktop guarantee. As soon as our truck hits the blacktop, the guarantee's done.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, that's a new one.
We do offer 0% interest, though. That's a good part.
All right, so I know everyone in the chat's waiting for me to ask you guys about sticky holsters. That's the only holster I've used forever. And for me, it's because I do outside sales and I go into a lot of businesses that allow firearms, so I take it in and out. So if I had like an Uncle Mike's or like a paddle holster or something with clips, it was kind of uncomfortable to do it. So I've just always had one, and I recently got one today. I can't show it on camera, but damn, Reuse Custom Holster made me a sweet Kydex red carbon fiber, the works, and I love it.
Okay.
So what do you guys think about sticky holsters?
I used one for a while there. I had it when I first started concealed carrying. I was like everybody else. I want the smallest gun possible, and I want it really comfortable. So I had the Ruger LCP 380 and a little pocket holster like that. It was okay. I think it's a great if that's your only option. You have to practice with it because drawing a gun from out of your pocket and keeping the holster in there takes practice.
See, I just wear it on my side because that compression keeps it.
Yeah. We'll go over that on Sunday.
You know, I'll bring it so you can knock holes in it because I really love them, man. You know, if I'm just gonna run to the store, I throw it in like car keys, and I don't even know it's there.
Well, here's the things with holsters. The first thing it needs to do, in my opinion, is it needs to protect the trigger guard. If that holster is good enough so that nothing is going to get into that holster, into that trigger guard, and accidentally press that trigger, cool, great. The second one, it has to retain the gun in the holster and retain it on your body. If it does that, cool. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what you have is wrong. I mean, if you go buy the Uncle Mike's felt holster that they sell and you show up in my class with one of those, we're going to have a discussion and I may let you borrow something different. But
well, I tell you, my wife, we went to this restaurant. I had my sticky holster with my 9mm. And she goes, "Oh, can you hold mine?" So I took her 380 and put it in my pocket. I hated it. Having it in my pocket felt really unsafe.
Yeah.
There was some change in there. There was a car key, and it just felt weird. I went all the way up to the car and dropped it off. I was like, I just felt I would never put a gun in your pocket, no matter what holster. It just felt really uncomfortable and just not safe.
Yeah, I haven't done it since that first year, and I was like, this is dumb, and I didn't like it in my pocket like that.
Besides, Rusted Root's correct. I have compression to put that. I have tactical girth that helps the holes. Tools and targets. Come on, man. Look, this guy, you get one, and then you tell me. I like them, man. They're all right. It'll still be in my rotation.
I've gone through. I have never used one.
You know, they're relatively cheap, too. They're like $25.
Yeah.
And
there's the other thing with holsters. If I'm gonna make sure I put money into something, it's gonna be the right holster. And the problem with that is they cost a lot of money, and you don't know if it's going to work for you until after you buy it.
You're gonna go.
So
You
one of
end up
my
having, yeah, go ahead.
subscribers is Reeves Custom Holsters, and he was talking about you got to get Kydex tools, and Targets was giving me a bunch of grief about Kydex holsters and leather holsters. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. So I went down to his shop. I left the gun there, and he molded it to that gun. And then today he fiddled with it a little bit more. So man, it's smooth like butter. And I gotta admit, hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, Kydex is the way to go.
All right, I wanted to say this for a video, but man, this thing is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah,
and it has a mag holder in the front. Oh
Yep.
God, this thing is sexy. I love it. So I'm gonna start carrying a full size for a week or two just to kind of give that a shot.
We'll bring that with you Sunday for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I dig it. I totally dig it. He's gonna make me a leather one now for my XDM9.
Nice.
Oh, man, but you're right. Having a custom holster made is not cheap. But when you compare that to this other plastic piece of junk I bought off Amazon for like $20, there's night and day.
I mean, you're gonna wear this thing all day, right? So it's got to be comfortable and it's got to hold a gun. What's that old saying? Carrying a gun should be comforting, not comfortable. What's my expression for that, Zach? Take that crap and throw it in the trash. Because we're human beings. We're not going to do anything that's uncomfortable for very long.
Right.
So I'm going to get my rig set up so that it's comfortable. I don't care if it's if you say that, oh, it's going to be comforting, not comfortable. No, I want it to be comfortable. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. It's going to sit in the safe, or it's going to sit on my nightstand. It's going to sit at home somewhere where it's not on me when it comes time to use it. So,
speaking of having just guns in the nightstand, here's another scenario I know that probably drives you guys absolutely bananas with new shooters. I can name probably 10 people off the top of my head that buy a gun, shoot it once, and it goes in the dresser, and that's it. They don't clean it, they don't maintain it, and it's just there. And I'm a gun owner. Have you ever shot it? I shot it like 6 months ago. Okay. Did you clean it? Nah. Did you get training? No. And that drives me batshit crazy. Excuse my French. It drives me nuts.
My opinion on that is you may not want to go get training and take classes and stuff like that, but at least get familiar with it. Familiarize yourself with it more than one time. Because if it comes to a time where you're going to need to use that, if that ever happens, you're going to be thankful that at least you went out and shot it a few times and got familiar with it, at least self-taught, if anything.
Yeah.
Right. And I had another friend of mine go, hey, man, I keep my holster right next to me and earmuffs right next to that. So if someone's breaking in my house, I'll just put the earmuffs on and I'm good. What?
Dude, the last thing I'm going to think about is putting earmuffs on.
Right. There's so many weird. I've had some, since I started this channel, I've met some. Right. I've met some really great people. I've met some people with some crazy ideas, and I love it all. Gun people are my people. As crazy or as cool as they are, I just love them all. But I've heard some.
I mean, I plan on just running out naked with a tomahawk and my flashlight.
I tell you, that would probably do the trick.
Yep. But here's what I'll say to those people that buy the firearm and they're really not interested. They bought it one time, they shot it once. Here's where the state of Texas doesn't play around. If you're not going to shoot it, don't just stick it on a shelf in your closet or something like that. Lock it up, have it secure. The last thing you want to have happen is have that gun stolen or have somebody come in your house, come across that firearm and decide they want to start playing around with it.
Right.
Texas doesn't mess around with that. So go ahead, Zach.
I was saying, especially with children.
Yeah. With children, don't even screw.
So here's my thing with kids. Like I've left my gun down and tested them out, completely unloaded, of course, and they understand it. I think when you hide the gun and you make it mysterious and you don't show it to them, then they want to mess with it. Then they look for it. Then they're like, "Oh, this is exciting." So I'm not worried about my kids. I'm worried about their idiot friends that come over. That's who I'm worried about. So I still keep most of them locked up, but I'm not worried about my kids at all. They know better. I've tested them a couple times, and usually they just yell out, "Dad, you
Yeah.
left your gun out. Now you owe me $1." You know, they just
Yeah, and that just comes from teaching them and then building that trust.
right. Because I think if you hide guns from kids and you make it mysterious, and then they really get curious about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then speaking of training kids, we've trained kids.
That'd be cool.
I had a group of 3 brothers. They were 6, 8, and 12. And I will tell you what, that 6-year-old was rock solid compared to the other 2. He listened and did everything he was doing.
Right.
Great kid. But yeah, no, I'm a firm believer in educating your kids about firearms. Make it so it's not something that they need to be fearful. And that's one of the things we tell people in all of our classes. I don't want you to be afraid of the gun, but I want you to respect it. Yeah.
Right. Also, I did too. Is I showed him a YouTube video of a guy shooting a deer, and it thrashed around quite a bit, and it kind of drove the home the impact. It's like you can't take that back. So when you play with a gun and shoot something and kill it, you can't snap your fingers, and it's real life. It's not a video game. So Slick Dazzler had a good question in the chat. He goes, if he hears something in his house, he grabs his shotgun. So both of you, what is your go-to gun at home for home defense? You grab a pistol, shotgun, rifle, what?
What you got, Zach?
Pistol caliber carbine.
Oh
yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm the same thing.
Yep, I have a Ruger 59. Put a 33 round Glock mag in it. I got 33 rounds of 9mm right there.
That's all right.
So here's the old saying, best defense in my house is a shotgun. Yeah, the house howitzer is a great thing to have if you know how to use it. If you're somebody, again, that person who just buys a gun, sticks it in a corner, and they don't get any training on it.
Right.
They just bought themselves a $300 baseball bat. Because more than likely they're going to lock that thing up.
Especially.
And now, again, they've got a baseball bat.
Yeah, shooting at a wrist.
Yeah. Handguns, people are like, I want a handgun for home defense. We're like, well, why? Because it's going to be easier to shoot. We take care of that in about 10 minutes to show them that in a stressful situation, having something that's sticking way out in front of your face like this is a lot harder to control than something you have braced up against your body. So we've had numerous people shoot the handguns. In fact, I had a woman come out to the range. She was 65 years old. She bought a handgun because she wanted it for home defense. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with it. Hands shaking. She had a hard time racking the slide, all that stuff. I handed her my PCC, and she was nailing chest size 8-inch circle shots at 50 yards. Which one do you think she's going to be better with in a home defensive situation?
Well, just shooting under stress is something that I didn't realize. I hooked up with this crazy Marine in California, and on this Calguns website, I go, I'm just learning how to shoot. I want to shoot. And he goes, okay, great. Meet me at this gun range. So he goes, all right. So he put the 5 circle target up, and he goes, okay. And he numbered each one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he goes, all right. So shoot 1, 2, 3. And I was doing okay. He goes, okay, now I'm going to tell you what to do. And just do it. And he started screaming at me, 1, 7, 8. I was like, oh, shit. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't hit anything. And then he also did something else that really drove home a valuable point. He goes, I want you to unload the gun, put it on the table, and I'm going to stand by this wall. When I count to 2, I want you to load it and take 2 shots. So by the time I got to 2, his hand was on my shoulder. And he goes, man, I weigh 300 pounds. Yeah. So you can't let someone like me get that close, because unless you hit center mass, I can still get with you, and before I bleed out, probably get the gun away from you. Yeah. So we
talk about
reality check.
In our defensive classes. Yeah, we deal a lot with defenses and escalation of force and not letting people get too close to you. There's all kinds of rules and little things people talk about, as far as like the 21-foot rule that people can approach you, but it can be, depends on the person's age and athleticism and things like that. But yeah, man, the worst thing you want to do is let somebody get close and you're still fumbling around trying to get your gun up, and next thing you know, that 300-pound dude's on top of you.
Right. I mean, that was a pretty crazy reality check.
Barry.
And that guy was nuts. So
actually, I like Barry's comment. I don't know if anybody who here has shot a shotgun, but have they ever patterned their shotgun? See what the spread of their shotgun loads that they're using is at different distances, because like he said,
people assume it spreads out a whole lot. It doesn't. You know, if you're 20 feet away, it might spread out a little bit, but they don't. People are like, oh, you don't even have to aim, just shoot. No, you got to aim.
That's because Barry says that because that's his president said you just grab your shotgun and blast 2 blasts in the air.
Yeah, his president did say that. Striker Johnson just got in the chat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Again, I'm going to put their website in here. Please go check them out. So what range do you guys teach at? Thunder
Gun Range down in Conroe.
Gun Range in Conroe,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, they've been really good to us. I really have no complaints. Like I said, moving down here, everybody and their brother was an instructor, and I had very fortunate in Vermont. I had my own place, so I didn't have to worry about finding a place to shoot. Zachary has an area that we're allowed to use in Caldwell. We do most of our own practicing and stuff there, and we do occasional classes up there, but most of our training is down at Thunder Gun Range. And,
so did you guys see the EOs today? The AFT?
Yeah. The AFT is coming at you.
The AFT. What is this guy doing?
Yeah.
That poor guy. I mean, I think his wife should be put in jail for elder abuse because that guy doesn't know.
I say it all the time.
I mean, I almost feel bad for him. Not really, but kind of.
No, I get
kind of. Yeah, I kind of do feel bad.
Nobody needs to have a 100-round magazine. Yeah, well, we don't need a dementia patient for a president, but yet here we are.
It's crazy. When he said the AFT, I was like, he didn't really say that out loud. He said it twice.
Yeah.
God. If Trump had said that, it would be front page news.
Oh, my Lord.
And your pistol break makes your rifle more lethal. Remember that. Right.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was talking to Tools and Targets last night when he was on the live stream, and I told him, it's like, you know, what scares me about this president is what he could ban with executive orders, just the importation of firearms and ammo, and that would screw a lot of people up. I mean,
I'm really surprised that wasn't in this batch.
I don't understand why he's not doing that. I mean, I'm thankful, knock on wood, but it just seems like it's an easy win for him.
This last incident, this last shooting, I don't think was serious enough. They're waiting for more casualties. They want another Columbine. They want another really bad mass shooting that they can say, all right, we have no choice. We have to do this now.
I mean, don't let a tragedy go to waste. And I'm not saying they're false flags, but coincidentally, I think we'll probably have one in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And it'll be blown way out of proportion, and just, I mean, it's silly.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. Isn't the AFT the back of the boat?
Yes, it is.
Zach was the Navy guy. You ask him.
That's funny because that's where all the guns fall over.
Yeah.
You can't go to the after the boat. That's where they all fall
night
over.
ops.
Crypto Genesis says if they have another Vegas, they will confiscate. It's amazing how that guy just disappeared from the news. That whole situation is just gone.
Yep.
It took them 45 minutes to breach the room.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. There's so many after Epstein. I don't believe anything is impossible.
If you didn't believe in any kind of conspiracy theory before, how could you not start just asking questions at this point?
Yeah.
With everything that's going on, how could the rational person? I'm not saying you're totally going to get on board and get the tinfoil hat on. No, but how could you just not look at things and go, huh? What the hell's going on here?
After Epstein killed himself, I'm like, oh man, I believe anything. Aliens, show me the aliens, I believe it all. I mean, like Elvis is still alive. Whatever, Michael Jackson, I saw him in the.
My two favorites, aliens and Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, Bigfoot, I don't know. Tools says nothing changed today. Yeah, it was all.
Yeah,
it was all just smoke and mirrors today.
Yeah.
Nisha, have a good night. Have a good night. So, as far as what to bring this weekend, man, I can't tell you how excited I am for this class. I'm jacked. So, I got a bag, ammo. I do have earmuffs,
Yeah.
not electronic, but I have glasses.
Yep.
Got a cool polo shirt I'm gonna wear.
Oh, you gotta look good. So,
And then
that's
if it's
important.
sunny, you should have a hat, right? But then as far as like, you don't need anything special.
No. Here's another kind of common courtesy thing, especially brand new showing up to a class. Don't just walk up, throw your bag down, and start pulling your guns and stuff out, because you're standing usually in a crowd of other people, and now they're all watching you start pulling your gun out. Find out from the instructor of that course or wherever you're going, hey, what do I show up? Do I just pull my gun out? Do I go over here? Is there a safe area I should be doing this? I've gone to some classes where, yeah, you left everything in that bag and you didn't take it until the instructor comes and tells you what to do. And I've been to other classes gun is on you, it's loaded, mags are loaded, and you're ready to walk out on the range and start shooting as soon as you walk in the classroom. So find out from the instructor what they want your gun in condition to be like. Because that's a big thing with a lot of new people is they get into that crowd and they start handling their guns.
Or overconfident.
Yeah.
Right.
And we start in our safety brief, we will tell you, hey, don't guns do not come out in the back out here. Guns only come out in the firing line, things like that. Occasionally you'll get that person that lapse of judgment, lapse of remembering what the safety briefing, and start trying to pull their gun out of the holster while we're all standing back on a break, and he's kind of like, hey, remember we asked you not to do that. They're excited. You get trying something new and you're having fun, and you start just remember you're in a group of people and people get nervous when other people start waving guns around. So
we don't want you here walking on eggshells like we're just gonna be on top of you screaming at you all the time if you do something unsafe. But we want you to be aware of what you're doing and use common sense while you're out there.
So let me ask you a question. What is the worst thing you've seen on a gun range? Have you ever seen someone where you actually had to step in and be like, hey, you did not get off?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, is this pretty common?
Yes. Not kicking people out.
Depends on the range.
Yeah. But we see some pretty unsafe things pretty often. Sometimes, most of the time, it's people down the range from us, not actually with us, but we see things going on over there, which RSO.
You'll see people waving their guns around in their hands while they're talking and posing for pictures and stuff like that. When you're like, hey guys, this is not an Instagram session. You're on a gun range. Act accordingly. For the most, and those are either brand new people or people with no training at all. The worst thing I've seen is where whoever was the RSO that day, not really checking to make sure there were not people downrange, and there were people downrange, and the rest of us caught it. Because they were going, all right, we're going to commence firing, and we're all like, whoa, time out, this dude's still down there. So that's why we ask in our classes, the instructor's not the only people that can call ceasefire. Everybody who's out there, they see something unsafe, call ceasefire. We can't see everything. So
yeah, that happened to me once at the Angeles Forest. I was with those 50 cal guys the following third Thursday, because I wasn't going to miss that. And they're like, well, someone's got to change this target at the 200-yard range. I'm like, I'll do it. So I go running out there like a moron, because that's really far. And I change the target and come back, and I go, why don't you just take the scooter like everyone else? Everyone just drives out. But they had called, live fire when I was out there, and they told them to knock it off. But I was like, man.
Yeah. It's the horseplay and stuff like that I see. We won't put up with that, nor have we had it in our classes, but I have seen it at ranges, and it's not needed. It's not a place for that. It's not a jungle gym. It's not a playground. It's a gun range. Act accordingly. But
we have fun too. We don't, but just
of course.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm bringing 1,000 rounds. I don't care. We're gonna have a blast.
We just had a class a couple weeks ago. Speaking of 1,000 rounds in the cost of ammo now, we did a private lesson with a group of guys. They wanted some rifle skills. They wanted to do stuff that you can't do at a normal range. So we had them running and gunning and shooting on the move and shooting behind barricades. One guy showed up with a 308 AR, and he went through at least $1,000 worth of ammunition that day in that class.
I believe it.
I was like, whoo, man.
That's a pretty hefty gun to be running and gunning.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
that's pretty expensive. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I'll bring my my HK-22.
There you go.
Yeah, that thing is a blast to shoot. I shot that thing all day for like $15. It was great.
See, and that's it. Yeah, Zach and I, we have M&P 1522 ARs, and when ammo gets like it does now, we'll go out there and train with those.
Yeah, that's a blast. Have you guys shot the HK 416-22?
No, I have not.
I'll bring it Sunday. It is so much fun. As far as like real gun simulation, beat it. The weight is phenomenal. I mean, it is really spot on. The M&P 15 is good. My kids like it, but it's just too light for me.
Yeah. It is very light. It is super light.
It's super fun to shoot. Super reliable. I love it. But that HK is a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. So, hey, I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. Do you want to say anything? Because a lot of these people are Houston natives. So if they want to come find you, I just posted a link to your website. Do you guys ever run specials, or you guys ever run like the special days, like where you're not that busy? Do you guys do like? So
this is what I do full time, and then Zach, when he's not working law enforcement, helps us out. What I will tell people is this: think of us as a free resource of information for firearms training, firearms gear, all that stuff. Now they've got our information on there. Call, text, email, and we'll do our best to answer any questions we can for you. And of course, like people say, if we can't figure it out, we'll find somebody who will. We know that we don't know everything, but we know a lot of people who might. For as far as specials and classes and stuff like that, you got something interesting you want to do, ask us. Everything.
Well, your prices are already really good. I mean they're fair. Don't raise them. If you ever want to raise your prices, let me buy a 40-book class before you start raising those prices up.
Heck yeah. And even with that, if you come to one of our classes, we'll give you a discount code for classes after that, so you don't have to pay full price afterwards.
Oh, that's awesome.
But as far as like the type of classes that we offer, that's not everything that we know how to teach. We just limited it down to, because we didn't want to have 50 different classes listed on there. You want to learn how to shoot out of a vehicle. You want to learn how to do room clearing. You want to learn how to do they call it the tactical band camp stuff. Yeah, we'll teach you how to do that.
I want to shoot out of a vehicle.
Our focus has been on the average.
Learning how
to defend yourself. So,
like, can I drive and shoot at the same time? Is that something we can do?
It's your car.
That would be awesome. That would be cool.
Yeah. So if you're like, hey, I always want to do this, and if it's safe and we can do it without, too much hassle, all right, we'll show you how to do it.
All right, so no crazy John Wick stuff, but we can get.
No.
I have to ask you guys as instructors, how impressed were you by his gun skills in those movies?
His manipulations were good. His gun was good.
Firearm manipulations are good. So here's Zach and I love watching those Terran tactical videos, especially like when he was doing that. Man, they manipulate those guns so fast and so clean. But if I had a 4x8 sheet of plywood 10 feet in front of me, I'd be able to hit it that fast too. I mean, he's got large pieces of steel. Now, I'll say he's a world champion shooter. I am not going to take anything away from his skill and ability. He is a phenomenal shooter. But when I look at the size of some of those targets that are out on that range, I'm like, dude, my 5-year-old could hit that target from here. That we like to have speed, a combination of speed and accuracy. Like I said, I'm not going to crap on the guy. Guy could probably bury me in a shooting contest for sure. But yeah, like John Wick, that type of stuff, phenomenal gun handling skills. And when you see the videos of him training, you can see he put the work in.
We had a question, Striker. This is a Remington 700 that my brother gave me for my birthday.
Nice. Very nice.
He just gave it to me. So, he gave me a discount. He didn't give it to me free. He gave me the brother price. So I was like $5 off. But I would love to shoot and drive. I would love to shoot and drive at the same time, man. This That's really something we can do, because then I need to go through all the classes up until I get to that point. That's got to be at least 4 or 5 different classes to get to the point where I can drive and shoot.
Definitely.
I mean, we won't be doing that at Thunder Gun Range, but we could figure that out.
Yeah, but that's definitely something you want to become proficient and confident in your.
Now, where can people find Zach to get their tickets written off? So I'm just asking for the group, because
asking for a friend.
Yeah, asking for a friend. So if we take the class, wink, wink, we can get some, speeding tickets waived. Or
I can't make any guarantees on that one.
No. So are you a sheriff or a constable or
police department?
Hey, so what's the difference between a sheriff and a constable? Since I've moved to Texas, I have no idea. Exactly. Is one like a half cop?
No, actually, back when law enforcement first started, the constable was kind of the reigning person over the jurisdiction, over the county. But it kind of flip-flopped. The sheriff kind of gained power over, but the constable is still an elected official, just like the sheriff is. So they not really one overpowers the other one. But I shouldn't say power, popularity. But sheriff's office deal more criminal offenses.
Okay.
Constables do more. In your larger cities, they do a lot of criminal offenses and go and respond to calls and stuff, like Houston and stuff like that. But your smaller jurisdictions, they handle more of your civil paperwork and stuff like that, and do bailiffs and stuff like that.
They're out here; they just write speeding tickets.
Yeah. In Houston and Austin and places like that, they do the same thing the sheriff office does. They just have a different name.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've always wondered. Well, yeah.
Well, that's my new favorite now. Who's the half cop? Which one's the half cop?
I just didn't know. I was like, constable. What's a constable? I heard they have to buy their own equipment too.
Depends on the size of the agency. Your larger departments will supply their equipment.
Man, I've heard of cutbacks, but man, I mean, I think we run around on Schwinn's.
But I'm the half cop. I spend half my time watching Netflix.
I hope no one's listening. All right, let's see. I think that's it for the questions. Man, I got to tell you, I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. I'm excited for the class. I think our class starts at 10.
Yes, sir.
I'll be there at 9:30. Excited. I'll try and have a lot of Starbucks in the wife, so she's excited.
Awesome.
And we just can't wait. We really can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Good.
Zach, are you going to be there too, or?
Possibly. It's looking that way.
Nice. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Let me put your website one more time in the chat. Guys, please check these guys out. They do coupons too, so if you want to give them as a gift to somebody that's thinking about getting into shooting, man, I think everyone should have basic handling skills. So I'll probably give this out as a Christmas gift, just here, go to this class, learn how to shoot your gun and not yourself.
Exactly.
So, awesome. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Everyone in the chat, please like and subscribe.